Hello, and welcome to another episode of Healing from the Mess with me, your host, Lizzie. It has come to my attention that I've kind of strayed away from the point of this podcast. So we're going to go back to kind of how it was before. I want to share some things. So I don't know, maybe a week ago, I remembered something. Um, I don't remember which spring break it was. I would guess I was in 5th grade, and maybe I really can't tell you when this was. I really don't remember what year it was. But my mom wanted to take us to Great Wolf Lodge, my brother and I. So her boyfriend at the time was showing my brother and I how to read a map so we could help her because she'd be driving, obviously. And we drove the 3.5 hours to the place. No, I remember the drive up there. I remember the parking lot. I remember being in the lobby, sitting at a table. I have a vague memory of eating food, but I'm not 100% sure about that. I remember swimming in a lazy river. I remember staying underneath that giant bucket they have that fills with water, and then as soon as it's filled up, it just falls all over you. Anybody was staying beneath it. I remember my mom sitting on a beach chair, those beach chairs, right? Those lounge chairs. And some guy saying something to her. She was reading a book, and this guy came up and started talking to her. And then I remember being on the elevator. I think being on the elevator, going back down or something. I don't remember what was happening. But we ended up. I couldn't figure out why I didn't remember the hotel, because I remember every hotel room I've ever been in. Every hotel room I've ever been in my life. I may not be able to tell you what state we were in or what city we were in, but I can tell you what the hotel room looked like. I can tell you about the beds. I can tell you about the TV. I can tell you about all those things. I couldn't for life of me remember this room. We didn't stay. And I don't know if it's because my mom didn't make our reservation and we just showed up and she thought they would just give her a room. Or if we got a room, but the guy spooked her, made her feel scared, so we left. I don't remember the drive home. But I know I was disappointed. I remember being upset that we didn't get to stay, because I remember thinking these kids who were allowed her to go up to their room and doing all these things, and they got to stay in this hotel, and I did not. So I remember that, and it was really weird to remember that. But it was also it felt good, to understand why I don't remember the room. And that's because we didn't actually stay in the room. Um, and a quick little life update. Last week I was traveling with my husband back downstate, because he had some business to take care of, and he invited me to go with him. And we actually met my mom's husband for coffee. I haven't seen him in over a year, and it was so good to see him. It filled my heart up. It really did. It filled my heart with so much joy. To hug him, to see him, to talk to him. It was good. It was really good. I also just started and finished It's Not You, by Dr. Ramani. I forgot her last name, but Dr. Ramani, if you follow her, you can find her on YouTube. You can find her on Instagram. I love that book. It talks about narcissism, what it is, and it talks about healing. It talks about discernment, radical acceptance, whether you stay or whether you leave. I'm so sorry. But every time I read a book like that, even though they don't like pressure you to go no contact, they don't pressure you to not go no contact. It's this book, even Dr. Romney didn't push like forgiveness. And after the day after I saw, my mom's husband, I had a day date with my youngest son. This journey is so hard. It is really hard because it's not just me. I have these wonderful children. And I'm trying to figure out how to navigate this with them because they've been really strong. They've been very understanding for the past year. My youngest has the hardest time, and he really misses my mom. And I'm so glad I have therapy today because I have so many things I want to talk about and questions to ask. And I know it's my choice, my decision at the end of the day. I know that. And if I make a mistake, if I choose wrong, it's okay because I'm human and I can always rectify. I can always rectify that. I can always make it right. If I do something that I wasn't prepared for, I don't want to do it without being prepared. I don't want to do it without thinking it through. Like I won't want to think it to death. But I also don't want to jump the gun. I had to talk myself down yesterday because I almost contacted her. And I looked at myself in the eyes in the mirror and I was like, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. You're not doing this. You haven't even talked to the people you need to talk to first. You have to make this choice. This decision doesn't just affect you. This needs to be a conversation you have with your support system. So, because I can be very impulsive. I was even able to talk myself down because I was feeling all the feelings. Excuse me. And usually what I do when I do that, when I feel all the feelings, is I stuff them down with food. I sat in the uncomfortable. And that sucked. But I did it. I sat in the uncomfortable. And I let it pass. I didn't leave my house. I didn't go get a 12-pack of tacos. I stayed home. And I made a good decision. 1 second. I'm really sorry about all that. It's ridiculous. But anyway, so I am going to be talking it through and talking to my support system, and I'm going to listen to my intuition, and I trust myself. There's a difference now. I trust myself. I trust that whatever choice I make, it's going to be okay. Even if it's the wrong choice, I have boundaries. I have the ability to enforce them now. I am able to put my best interests first. And not in an egotistical or whatever. It's absolutely self-preservation. And I trust that no matter what happens, I'm going to be okay. Because I've made it to this part in my journey where I know that none of what happened was my fault. Yesterday, I was even able to comfort my inner teenager and told her, like, you have every right to feel your feelings. Your anger is valid. Your emotions, your feelings are valid. They're safe with me. And telling her, I know how badly you want to scream in her face, but she's never going to hear you. I hear you. I understand. I hear you and I validate you, and your feelings are 100% valid. And when I tell you that I felt her anger dissipate, I cried because I was like, yeah, there you go. There you go. I am the mother to myself that I needed. I am the mother to myself that I needed. And I am doing my best to be the mother my children deserve. And that's important to me. So I'm okay. I'm getting there and I'm going to be fine. And I'm excited for this next chapter. I'm ready. I don't know what it looks like. I don't know what's going to happen. But I will tell you this. If I decide to have low contact with her, very minimal low contact with her, I promise to take care of me. I promise to make sure I am doing what I need to do to protect myself and my children. I will take the time and the space I need. That's what I know. I trust that I can do that now. I have been through a lot with my mother. And I remember in 2022 realizing that my childhood might have been traumatic. When you are living through it, it's your normal and you don't see it as not normal. To you, it is normal. It is life. It is what it is. When you share it with others and they look at you like, what? You realize that it wasn't as normal as you thought it was. Come here. Come on. Come here. You realize how bad it was. It's my baby. It's my baby. My Riri. Um, it's crazy. But I survived and I lived through it and I made it. And that's a big deal. That's a really big deal. Um, I don't know if I shared this with you. I might have. I don't remember, but there was an incident. I think I was. I don't even know. 6-ish, maybe. I don't. 7, 8. I don't. Not really sure, but my mom got us up. and we went for a drive at night. Drove around for hours. I don't. It's so hard because being a mom now, it's hard. Really hard for me to wrap my head around. But what's so funny and weird to me is like you were afraid of that your father was going to. She was afraid her father was going to stage an accident and have her killed. So why are you taking your kids in a car and driving around for hours? Did you want that to happen? Like, wouldn't you be safer if you didn't leave the house? Logic, right? Logic. I just, I know she wasn't in her right mind. That's the hardest part about all of this is you can have empathy and sympathy and understand and compassion. And you can understand that maybe they were mentally unstable and mentally ill. But I will tell you something, it doesn't excuse the behavior. Hi. I know. I see you. Thank you. Okay. Yep. You got to go that way. Thank you. Love you so much. Gotta go that way. Go that way. There you go. Come here. There you go. Good job. It doesn't excuse it. It does not make it okay. I'm allowed to be angry at her. I'm allowed to be angry at the lack of mental health professionals who understood her mental illness, but I don't even know what it is. That's the hardest part is she's always been like this. I mean, according to lifelong friends, she's always been like this. So now, I don't know. I know it stems from trauma. And she never got the help that she needed. I have to heal my trauma so that I can be better for one, for my children, and two, if I choose to have a relationship with this woman, I can protect myself in a way. I can remove myself emotionally from that situation. Most part of the really big reason, like part of the reason why, one of the many reasons why I have like I didn't want to see her was because I didn't want to pretend like everything was fine. I'm tired of pretending like everything's fine. And my face speaks for itself. It says all the subtitles. So that's hard for me. It's really hard for me. But I have to remember that it's not about me. Her behavior has nothing to do with me. I am in control of how I react. And I think that's what it is that I'm allowed to feel how I feel, but she doesn't get to know or witness how I feel, because it doesn't matter to her how I feel. My feelings are not important to her. So by me not showing my hand, by not showing my emotion, it's me protecting myself for a later time when I can actually express my feelings and be heard. And I'm not being fake. I'm protecting myself. And that is the key. I'm not hiding. I'm not keeping the peace. I'm not playing a part. I am protecting my peace and sharing my feelings with those who matter, who I matter to, who my feelings matter to. So there you go. That's it. So this is where I'm at. This is kind of where I'm balancing at. And I appreciate you being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining me on my living room floor in front of my wonderful fireplace. Um uh, this is a long ramble, but I hope that you got something out of it. Thank you for listening. I hope you'll join me next time for another episode of Healing from the Mess with me, your host, Lizzie.